All right, now, so one day, right, there was this horse, and he was sitting just kind of on the couch watching MTV. And mind you, this was in the 90s, so this was before MTV was, making all these reality shows about crap no one cares about, right? And it was actually playing music. So this horse is lounging around, and he's watching, as songs different go by, and eventually a Jimi Hendrix song comes on. And this horse is just, I mean, absolutely ecstatic. Eventually he wants to, go and after listening to the song, he starts thinking to himself, I want to learn more about this guy. I think I might want to be a guitarist. So the horse goes out and he gets himself a part-time job and he starts saving up. And eventually he does save up enough money to buy like a cheap low-end, just kind of like starter Stratocaster, right? And he, starts practicing and he gets better and better. And, sure enough, little by little, he starts learning every song in Jimi Hendrix's first album, right? And, it takes him some time. He has to get better and to learn, but he does eventually achieve this goal, and he can know and play the main guitar parts to every song in Jimi Hendrix's first album. So, one day, the horse is going by and he's practicing those songs, and he decides, you know what, I think I want to kick it up a notch. So he goes and he finds the chicken, because apparently the chicken was like a dope bass player back in high school, right? I mean, homie laid it down. So he goes up to the chicken, he's like, hey, chicken, what's good? And, they talk for a little bit, and eventually the chicken's like, yeah, you know what, I think I can do it. I still got the bass. Let me dink around a little bit. And so the chicken and the horse start jamming together, and eventually the chicken learns every song on Jimi Hendrix's first album. Now, they're jamming together one day, and they go, you know what, we gotta take this up another notch. We gotta find a drummer. So they go to the cow. They find the cow because apparently the cow used to tear it on the drums. I mean, homie busted it out, right? So they go and they talk to the cow, and the cow's like, guys, I don't. I sold the drum set a while back, and quite frankly, I don't really have the funds to go buy another one. So the chicken and the horse say, okay, you know what, that's fine. We'll help you out. And so they all three go and get jobs, and they all pool their money together. And after a little bit of work, they all pitch together and buy the cow like a dope drum set, like a really good quality one. And so the cow learns all of the drum parts to Jimi Hendrix's first album. Well, after that, they say, you know what? We need a singer. We need a singer. So that who do they go to? They go to the pig, because the pig is a legend at singing. I mean, this pig is a monster. Back in the day, old rumor goes around that he was an old R&B legend, right? So they talk to the pig. They're like, hey, pig, you want to help us? Join our band? And the pig says, I'm down. I am so down. Right? So the pig learns all the lyrics to the first Jimi Hendrix album. So now they're a Hendrix cover band. And they say, okay, well, you know what? We need a manager to help book us gigs. So who do they go to? They go to the farmer, right? Because the farmer is a human. So he can actually, help these guys out. He's got connections, right? And, for the farmer, it's a pretty easy job, selling the shows, because not only are these guys pretty stinking good at being a cover band, but they're also, talking animals. Like, where else are you going to see that, right? So the farmer starts sending them out on gigs, and honestly, they sound pretty good. They've got it going pretty well. And, they're selling out, different venues and stuff like that. And eventually one day comes and they say, you know what, we don't want to be just a cover band. Let's make some original songs, right? So they get together and they brainstorm and they write a couple, and you know what? Their songs are freaking good. They're kind of like a 70s rock mixed with the R&B from what the pig brings, and then like the drummer kind of brings more of like an alt kind of. It's just really good. It's like a nice fusion of a whole bunch of different genres, right? So they start touring with their new songs, right? And they're just selling out venues, right? The Greek Theater in LA, packed to the brim. They actually had to stop selling tickets because it was just full, right? So eventually, these guys are going on tour and they're starting to get pretty darn big. So they actually end up getting a call from one of the representatives for the Jay Leno show, right? That's how far back this was in time, MTV and all that, and also the Jay Leno show was still going, right? So they get invited out and they say, we want you to play on our show. Just come on over here. They call the horse. They say, come on over here, and they say, just sign the contract, and then the rest of you guys can fly over, and we'll get you playing. We'll interview you. It'll be a whole thing. You'll get a bunch of exposure. And the horse is like, sweet. So he tells the band, he says, all right, I'm going to flight to LA. I'm going to go talk to these guys, and if it turns out pretty good, then I'll come give you a call. So the horse goes over, and he talks, and they sign the contracts, and they do all the talking, and blah 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 blah. And the horse eventually calls up the band, and he says, all right, pig, cow, chicken farmer, guys, I'll head out. We're going to play the Jay Leno show, and then we're going to have an interview. But unfortunately, tragedy strikes. See, the plane that the pig, chicken, cow, and farmer are on experiences a freak accident. Goes down, crashes, no survivors. And the horse is not taking it very well. He kind of takes the blame for it. He starts thinking to himself, man, if I hadn't invited these guys out to do this, right? If I had just told them to stay where they were, they would still be alive. This is my fault. This is my fault. He just takes it the wrong way, and he doesn't really know what to do with himself. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what Hendrix would do in his scenario. And, well, in his despair, he decided to end it all. So he went to his medicine cabinet, found a bunch of ketamine pills, and just downed them all at once, right? And then he goes out, and he just starts, he looks for the seediest bar that he can find. And in LA, there's quite a number of seedy bars. So he walks in, and he goes in and he orders pretty much the most alcoholic drink you can get. I don't really know what it is, but just bear with me, And the bartender, as he makes the drink, he can see that this horse is not in, good condition. So he walks over and he sets the drink down and he says, hey man, why the long face?